And after a score, they kick the ball deep. In both cases, teams give the ball away to play defense. This is routine at every level, in high school, college, and the pros.
Runs on 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
But there is one coach in America who thinks he has a better way to play the game.
Good job. Good job, man.
Kevin Kelly's teams almost never punt because he thinks that's like giving up. And instead of kicking off, Coach Kelly tries to get the ball back every time with an onside kick, a tactic everyone else uses almost only in desperation.
Are you crazy?
No, I'm just a lot smarter than everybody else.
Would you even know if you had a good punter on your team?
No, absolutely not. No. I don't even like how guys kicking the balls. I think it scuffs them up.
Kevin Kelly is the head coach at Pulaski Academy, a small private school in Little Rock, Arkansas. His contrarian approach challenges fundamental principles of football, the same way Moneyball challenges the tenets of baseball. In 4 years, Pulaski has punted just 4 times.
The one time we punted in 07, they stood up and gave a standing ovation. It's like you're cheering because we're punting. It's
your own
offensive
crowd
failure.
gave you a standing ovation.
Right. They're all standing up and going nuts. It's like it's offensive failure. What are you cheering here? Well, in their minds, we're doing the smart thing, that kind of thing.
I love the way you characterize it, that it is offensive failure. To you, it's not just simply part of the game. It's not 4th down, let's punt. To you, you failed at something.
We definitely failed. What was our goal when we attained the ball? To make first downs, to score a touchdown. If we don't score a touchdown, we failed. And some coach will tell you, well, it's a game of field position. Not if you score a touchdown, it's not.
When he first became a head coach, Kelly stumbled on some obscure statistical research. Always good with numbers, Kelly started compiling his own data. First about the true value of punting, and then about onside kicks. Soon, he was convinced. There was a huge advantage out there just waiting to be had. Because football coaches, incredibly, give up the ball too easily.
So, we're on our own 5-yard line, and we go for it here and don't make it, 92% chance they're going to score a touchdown. We punt the ball out on average, and you get your average net punt, they're still going to score from the 35 or the 40 77% of the time. But if I go for it, I've got a 50% chance of staying alive. I like my chances right there, so that's the way we do it, and that's why we go for it.
5 left, Daniel!
Kelly would be easy to ignore, to dismiss really as some kind of mad sports scientist, except for one thing. His teams win a lot. Since Kelly took over in 2003, the Bruins have won 104 games and lost only 19. They've also been state champs 3 times.
Touchdown, Bruins!
The folks in Little Rock may be accustomed to Coach Kelly by now, but no one could have imagined what happened in the first quarter of a game this past September.
Great atmosphere out here. We're talking 2 top 10 teams going at it.
Well, they elected to kick off to us first, so we got the ball first and drove down and scored. We line up, and we did one type of onside kick.
A high onside kick, and the Bruins will get the football right back, Trey. Wow.
We went down and scored. We did another one.
Onside kick, scramble for it, touch the Panther, and Pulaski Academy has got it once again.
Went down and scored.
But the onslaught wasn't over. Pulaski recovered a 3rd onside kick, and then did this.
Nice play action fake. Really hides the football. He's going for the home run ball down the right side. Over the shoulder kick by L.J. Wallace for the touchdown.
You wouldn't believe this, but we're just over 3 minutes into this game. PA is up 28-0. It's unbelievable.
4 straight touchdowns, all before the other team got to run its first play.
It's a Bruin blowout so far. Wow.
It went viral. So people from all over the country are emailing me, telling me you're up 29-0 in the first quarter and you're still onside kicking. And ironically, the same people that say you're an idiot for onside kicking now say you're trying to run up the score on them by onside kicking. And you can't have it both ways.
According to Kelly's numbers, the decision to onside kick every time, something no one else does, is crystal clear. That's because on average, even if they don't recover the ball, Pulaski's only giving up 14 yards.
That's 14 yards. 14 yards I'm willing to give up for a chance to get the football back. I mean, get an onside kick in the first quarter of the game. It's like a turnover. In the NFL, what's the most telling statistic for wins and losses? Turnovers, bar none.
Pulaski hasn't lost a game all year, and in the days leading up to the state semifinal, no one seems to think that will change. There's no reason to practice punting the ball, of course, but there's lots of time devoted to keeping it. This is just one of Pulaski's 12 onside kick formations, executed by 3 different kickers.
All right, hey, let's go copter. Who does copter?
So he's placed it right behind the tee.
Behind the tee because that helps it do that right there. Our kids will go up and try to field that. They go up there and hit your arm and bounces off. The most rare one, it was actually controversial. Hey, who does the drop kick onside the best? Skylar, go. The old drop kick.
You can pick it up.
Uh-huh. A lot of people don't know that rule, though, and they get kind of mad. All right, do the triple kick, then we'll do the rocket last. We'll have all 3 of them line up, and we'll call a kick over here, a kick to the middle, or a kick over there, and they'll go in order, and one of them kicks the ball. All right, let's do rocket.
Ooh,
Good kick, George.
that's the rocket.
That's the rocket.
Do you think most people still view your approach as risky?
Risky, yes, I would say risky was the word that's used often when I'm talked to about it. I say, you're the one that's risky. You're the one that's taking the chances. You know, if you believe what I believe, then everybody else is the one gambling. I'm doing the one that gives us the highest percentage chance to win. So you gamble when you punt because you're actually decreasing your chances to win.
It's amazing that people aren't taking as much advantage.
Toby Moskowitz is an award-winning economist at the University of Chicago's Booth School of Business and the co-author of a book called Scorecasting, a Freakonomics-like treatment of sports. Moskowitz says that while high school is clearly different than the pros, NFL teams ought to be going for it on 4th down far more often than they do. That just giving the ball away so often just doesn't add up.
My favorite is here between the 40s, which is a part of the field that almost every NFL coach punts. This is the sweet spot for going for it on 4th down. Turns out when you run the numbers, not only would you go for it if there's, say, 3 or 4 yards to go, but even at 4th and 5, you would clearly go for it between the 40s. Even 4th and 8, basically anything less than 4th and 8, you should go for it between the 40s.
You're telling me 4th and 8? The numbers still tell me I should go for it.
That's right. That seems crazy, doesn't it?
Guys can't pick up 8 yards almost any time.
You know, even myself, before I ran the numbers, is you think of giving up the ball at the 50 as this disastrous event, that you're basically conceding points. That's just not true. So pushing them back 20 to 25 yards is worth a little bit. Keeping the ball for another series is worth a lot more.
How tempting is it to go for it on 4th down?
Well, I think it's extremely tempting. I mean, I think
Sean Payton of the New Orleans Saints is one of the most aggressive coaches in the NFL and is always looking for the right time to take a chance. But, he says, pro football isn't like blackjack. There are just too many variables to simply go by the numbers.
there's an instinct that goes into this. There's a gut that goes into that. Is this risk, whatever it is, a fake punt, an onside kick, a fake field goal, going for it on 4th down, does that give our team a better chance to win based on not only the percentages, but based on the opponent and the situation in the game?
Coach Payton's most famous risk was on the game's biggest stage, the Super Bowl.
Onside kick to start the second half, and the ball bounces off the hands of the coach. Sean Payton, he said, big games, you got to make tough decisions. And Saints football, they recover the onside kick. What a fearless start to the second half.
Have you considered what the reaction would have been, what the criticism would have been like, if you had not recovered the ball and you had lost the game?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's that gulp that takes place in the 10 seconds before he kicks it or while you're waiting to see who recovers it.
Don't get behind the center!
But why aren't more coaches willing to be more aggressive? Why, even in the face of statistical evidence, are so many so cautious? Why are teams so willing to give up the ball?
Here's the part that's really important. 4th and 1 in the NFL, teams have a 75% success rate.
Wait, 4th and 1, teams have a 75% success rate
That's correct.
of getting a first down.
That's right.
So when you look at that number, you say, well, it's obvious I should be going for it on 4th and 1, yet you don't see that.
You don't. I think part of it is that fear of loss. What if I don't make it? that seems to loom much larger in coaches' minds, even though 3/4 of the time you'll succeed. It's really a human condition. This comes from psychology. We seem to care a lot more about losses than we do about gains. So much so that we often give up gains at the expense of trying to minimize our losses. We often get overpowered by the fear of loss, irrationally so.
Back in Little Rock, Coach Kevin Kelly is not the least bit conflicted.
You guys are so good that they can't beat you. Let's go!
He believes in the numbers and lives by them. He also has a heck of a team. In the state semifinal, Pulaski opened the game with an 80-yard touchdown on a trick play.
Down line, there's a man open. He's got it at the 30, the 35, the 30. And AJ says, take it to the house on the first play of the game.
And sure enough, on each of 3 fourth downs, they went for it. And after every score, they attempted an onside kick. By halftime, Pulaski was winning 44-6. So with the game well in hand, the coaches took time to eat dinner.
These guys worked their butts off. They need to eat, right?
A week later, Pulaski won the state championship, the 3rd title for Coach Kelly in 9 years.
Have you ever had a kid who says to you, Coach, let me just show you how well I can punt?
Oh, yeah. And they're kind of doing it in jest, but I get kids that want to show they can kick a football and punt a football. And, you know, hey, have at it, kid. But it's not going to make a difference. I mean, we're trying to win football games here.